Spendy.
I can hear you now. What is this guy talking about? Kirby FOMO. Kirby Air Riders doesn't have any FOMO. If you don't know what FOMO is, it's an acronym that stands for Fear of Missing Out, which has become a sore topic of the gaming world. Have you ever seen a physical special edition of a game that comes with little trinkets and baubles to lure you in and then squeeze more money out of you? Those release alongside the regular game, and they're always sold out. And that's because fans of those games are fearful that they will miss out on said items. Sometimes the fear is for something that's free, like the little dangling dude I got for participating in Monster Hunter Wilds beta. So it doesn't have to be about money, but I probably wouldn't have played the beta if they didn't dangle that little dude in front of me. No. This tactic to use fear of missing out in development is common on the mobile phone side of gaming. But any game developer might have something like a monthly or seasonal pass with a paid tier that has alluring rewards that you can earn by playing the game. So you end up playing a lot more than you might have because you want that extra special prize at the end of the pass that you paid for. It can get absurd, but Kirby wouldn't do that, would he? Well, first of all, he can't. He's a fictional character. But Sakurai did. He put FOMO in my Kirby game. But in this instance, it's not that bad, and that's what I wanted to tell you about today, the FOMO and Kirby Air Ride. So let me elaborate. So hopefully you've all gotten time to comprehend the deliciousness that is this menu. Let me direct you to this shiny button right in the middle. If you haven't finished the tutorials, that will probably be there instead. But for all you good students, it's this little rainbow exclamation mark button, and this will direct you to the current event. The game will also give you notifications a decent amount of time before new events begin, so you can be in the know. And there's even a little section for these notifications in the folder menu at the bottom. So thoughtful. Here I'm participating in the second launch celebration event they've done so far, and this one features playing in one of two 8-player teams. But here's where the FOMO comes in. It says you can earn some accessories to customize your machines within the customization mode. Now I'm not a huge spend 1,000 hours putting custom colors and decals on something guy, but I did try to emulate my own likeness in the 2 Monster Hunter games that I've played while trying to get immersed. I really do love Kirby, and I wanted to give everything this game has a go. So guess what happened when I read this? I got some FOMO! And this wasn't the first time in the game either. My dumbass missed the first launch event because I was sick and busy, and I didn't have my priorities straight as a gamer. So I'm ashamed. Anyway, now the format is everybody's favorite, City Trial. And after a short time waiting in a lobby version of the city, it will be populated with 16 players and your team color is determined. There's a small change here from normal gameplay, where you typically have 4 stadium challenges to vote on. I believe they don't allow voting to make it more fair, thus avoiding situations where you might vote for a challenge that suits your machine, but it's against the interest of the rest of your team. Now this doesn't mean you can't play the system a little bit. They might blast a stadium prediction to everybody. This does happen often, and they're worded a little bit strangely, but I like that. It's kind of funny. I think I only noticed the prediction announcement once during the whole launch event, so yeah, don't go calling me keen-eyed or alert. Right, so you compete in the challenge. Team R versus Team B. And even if you come in first, if the rest of your team doesn't do so well, you can still fall behind in points and lose. But there's enough players on both teams that they split you up into 2 groups. 2 separate stadium challenges happen, and afterwards they will take the 2 totals of Team R and the 2 totals of Team B and add them together, so there's still a chance to win if your half of the team you're on doesn't do so well. And I had a great time! My anti-competitive nature was kept completely at bay for a few reasons. First of all, running around the island of Skya in City Trial is typically pretty chill, even though you're trying your best to power up your machine. Sometimes somebody might attack you and steal a couple of your Flintstone gummies, or they might even destroy your machine. but you can just run to another one and you'll still have a ton of your power-ups you've collected. And those little random events never felt too stressful for me either. What I'm trying to say is I never felt like anything that happened to me was too consequential in a negative way to my experience. And that's because of the nature of City Trial. It's such an unknown thing if the other players really have better machines than you for whatever challenge you'll do. Once you're battling it out in the Stadium Challenge, you might have the worst machine or just perform poorly, and your team could carry you. Never mind if the other group on your team in a separate simultaneous challenge, they can carry your whole half of the team as well. So I was truly relaxed, just enjoying myself, even getting riled up if I was doing particularly well. The very first challenge I did in the celebration event was a race, and I was on Team R. I was a bit worried because I went with the Battle Chariot, a machine that was more offense leaning, which are typically heavier, tough to control, good for the arena challenges. But with all the speed power-ups I collected, I just needed to somehow get it to turn enough so I could shoot myself to the finish line and defeat Team B. The thing about City Trial is, when the stadium ends up to be a race, your machine can be so overpowered sometimes that controlling it well is a challenge in and of itself. At any rate, I somehow came in first. But my team, Team R, still lost overall. And I felt good about it. I did well on my own. I didn't really care about losing.
Why did you fail me? I wanted to win!
But now you see, we're back to the whole reason we're here. Even though we lost, I still earned enough points to get that first reward, and then some. There were 8 rewards to earn, and I would need 2,000 points to get them all. I just got 300, so that's just 7 games total. So I got to it. In my second game, I was on Team Rapscallion once again, and reunited with my first place compadre, the Battle Chariot. Though it doesn't turn very well, if you pass by something you really want, you can press and hold the action button and then tilt forward or backward to slow down much more quickly. There's also these crates all over the place that you can break open for goodies, and the Battle Chariot is great at breaking things. And the perfect event came up for me. A grand wheelie was roaring down the road. Apparently. This game is so amazing with its design language. A little arrow will wrap around your vehicle and point you to the event that's happening. Back to the grand wheelie, I absolutely sniped his ass. Everyone's trying their best to take this thing down, but every time you hit it, you'll earn some power-ups. But I got the final hit, which awards you with a bunch of power-ups and dumps a whole bunch more on the ground too. Now, I had collected a whopping 18 top speed, but the Stadium Challenge ended up being a boss battle with 02,
the true final boss from Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards.
The arena for this boss fight has a long strip of road you must drive down while he attacks you before you get to him, so the speed actually came in handy. I did my best trying to pick up an ability that would do some decent damage against him, and I ended up coming in first again somehow. And even though the other group from our team lost their match, they did well enough and our total points ended up being higher. For my third round, Team Righteous beckoning me, I managed to get a hold of a wheelie scooter, which I noticed was really customized. This was the first time I had realized that when playing online matches, the City Trial map will be populated with machines that have been customized visually by other players. But never mind that, the wheelie scooter is a classic Kirby air ride machine. It's legendary when it comes to its acceleration, extreme turning radius, and its surprising ability to get height when driving off jump ramps and ledges. With such accurate and nimble controls, you can really grab a ton of power-ups quickly. There was an event with a bunch of these thieves named Tack running around with bags full of power-ups, and I thought I would do well here, but where the wheelie scooter fails is offense. Now, for some reason later on, I missed a stadium prediction message that said, the higher you can fly, the better you'll do. And like a dummy, I switched to the Battle Chariot again, thinking I could recreate my past first place finishes. High jump. The stadium was high jump. And the wheelie scooter is great at high jump. But for some reason, we wiped the other team, even though our team had 2 Battle Chariots and a regular chariot, while they had 2 scooters and a hop star, which is known for jumping. After waiting a few seconds for the other group to finish, this was the biggest landslide victory we had yet. A a strange round indeed. In the fourth game, opposite Lord Satan, this was my first time on Team B. I quickly transferred over to a paper star known for its dexterity and flight capabilities. I had only enjoyed this machine in the other game modes where durability doesn't matter. But this machine has the tiniest health bar for any machine, so yeah, I got blown up. Great. Did I mention I passed by a literal full parking garage on the way to my death? I could have swapped for anything, but after a 20-second hike down the mountain, I did end up finding another scooter. And then there was an event that dropped your health to nothing, and while I was scrambling to find a new machine, some guy actually completed Dragoon. Wait, let me explain. If you collect the 3 parts of a legendary machine, they will combine. These are the strongest and best machines in the game. You'll find the parts in red or rare boxes. You might even have to steal the parts by attacking a rival player that already found one. Anyway, I found a chariot I was happy to switch to for some more durability, and my stats ended up on the bulky side, but that didn't matter because the stadium was skydive too. And guess who showed up right beside me? Mr. Lucky Hamster Guy. God, I wish that was me. And both groups throttled us. Team B sucks. But I did unlock a poop spray decal, so that's something. Round 5, back on Team Bunyan. The battle chariot was right in front of me. I mean, come on. The portal event happened, that was neat. There was a nice stadium prediction that I once again was oblivious to somehow. And a short race event happened that I didn't make it to. In the last dozen seconds, I swapped to a Rex Wheelie, the big beastly bike that bites and fights with frightful top speed. And this turned out to be quite auspicious. Rail Panic is a stadium where you ride the rails and try to hit those green hoops. And hoop hit, I did. Another first place in the books, a first for me on Team Balsac. And we handily won the day. Just 2 more games before I have my fancy bauble. I can taste it. Game 6. I was such a good double agent for Team Busted that I decided to switch back again to Team Rigatoni. I grabbed a Jetstar, which I haven't really gotten comfortable with yet, so I switched quickly to a Transform Star, which goes between flight and wheel mode when you wiggle the joystick a little. Which is also how you perform a basic spin attack to break boxes, so yeah, that's great. And in the falling box event, an exploding box exploded me. The game actually lights up the closest machine to you, so I ran over to a Warp Star nearby, the most balanced machine. And rode that for about 10 seconds until I found a Wing Star which somebody decorated to look like Final Fantasy's Black Mage, or Vivi from number 9. Which then got exploded by a guy on a battle chariot. So I hopped on a paper star right beside me and got me another item on that checklist. But I found another Wing Star, so yeah. I blasted out of the volcano to the big floating garden full of power-ups, so that's cool. And I spotted the even higher up floating island, but I didn't have enough stats to fly there. It's just more power-ups though. The event being Button Rush 2 was a bit of a bummer since my machine isn't as agile on the ground, but we got really carried by these 2 guys, so that's baseball, I guess. Then I experienced a bunch of connection issues in a row trying to get my final game in, but I just gave it a few minutes and tried again. The final match, Team Butternut Squash, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. We fought Dynablade, so that's cool, and even cooler, I used my special ability to transform into True Form Marks, which gets way better speed and flight abilities for a short time, not to mention insane offense, and I somehow timed that with the volcano to fly to the garden again, which was freaking awesome. You'd never get the battle chariot there. Oh yeah, I didn't mention this yet, but I played as Marks for every single round. I've just gotten into choosing him. I love Marks. He is one of my favorite Kirby characters of all time. He's from my very favorite Kirby game, Kirby Superstar. I do slightly prefer the Super Nintendo version for the sound quality, but I digress. My build ended up being kind of mid, but the stadium being Kirby Melee 1 was a treat for me in the old BC. I didn't even do that good, but we got our stinky little keychain to dangle off the back of a custom machine that I will make one day. I promise. Maybe.
Blech.
Even with some connection shenanigans, it took me about an hour to earn all of the rewards, and I had fun doing it. Not to mention popping a whole bunch of items on my online checklist, got a few rewards from that too. I gotta say, the whole experience was actually just nice. But there's one more thing to consider. The event was only open during a period of 3 days. What if you happened to die for those 3 days specifically? I mean, that's what happened to me during the first event. Any number of reasons could come up that might make it challenging to attend an event. But this is where I realized it only took me 1 hour. I should have just come back to life for 1 hour. I could have figured that out, but no, I had to be dead. All in all, the Kirby Air Riders FOMO factor is inoffensive. Where certain games might have you paying money and playing more than you bargained for, Kirby Air Riders makes it easy and relatively painless to just enjoy more of the game and earn your rewards at a decent pace whether you're winning or losing, which is perfect for me. Maybe there's some of you out there that would prefer to earn even more when you win and even less when they lose, but that's not for me. I mean, consider it. If you earned even more, you'd be done even faster, and if you kept losing over and over again, doesn't the extra time just make you feel worse? I want to stress less and keep things fun. That being said, gaming is expensive with Nintendo. I don't blame you if you're watching this video just to check this aspect of the game out, and you have no plans to get a Switch 2. Hey, I'd do the same if I wasn't so down bad for some Kirby Air Riders. This game is why I bought the Switch 2. Of course I had to play Donkey Kong Bonanza, but Air Ride on the GameCube is a special game to me. We've played that at parties so much over the years. I couldn't handle the fear of missing out on this entire game. But I probably wouldn't have played the beta if they didn't dangle something. They didn't dangle that little dude in front of me. Why is it like that? Before the new events begin.